Go.
What up, people? It's your boy Izzy.
What up? It's Chanel, and welcome to our channel, Signals. So today we decided to do a review on the Netflix miniseries When They See Us. Now, for those who don't know what it's about or aren't familiar with the case of the Central Park Five, it's basically about five young men, who ranging from the ages between 14 and 16, they were accused and convicted of a crime that they did not commit. So we're just going to be talking a little bit about the case and the actual miniseries on Netflix. So we both sat and watched it in one day. It's only 4 episodes. You wanna start?
So I'm gonna mute my phone here for a second. I was scrolling through Facebook for the last 2-3 days, so about the weekend and yesterday, and I kept seeing people, post about this show on Netflix called When They See Us, and I was like, what is this all about? This is like trending everywhere, and everybody on my news feed was talking about it. So our friend Angelica posted about it, and I told her, I was like, hey, I saw this in my description on Netflix, but I didn't click it yet because I want to give it my undivided attention. And she was like, oh, well, you should. It's a really good show, and it's really going to have you on the edge of your seat. No pun intended. And then Chanel messaged me, and she was like, hey, you need to watch this. We need to do a review on it. It's really good. So I told her, I was like, okay, I'll watch it tomorrow. So today I got up, I ate breakfast, I handled a few things, and I was watching Netflix from 11 till 6 o'clock. All 4 episodes run about an hour.
About an hour, 10, 20 at the most, maybe?
Right. I think the last one was the longest, and it was an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But I'll let you break it down, and then we'll have a discussion about it.
All right. Well, the series starts off with, the guys. I don't think they were all friends. I think 2 of them were friends.
Right.
Yeah, 2 of them were friends, and they were just happened to be at the park at the same time as a woman, who was raped and beaten nearly to death.
Basically, I'm sorry. Basically, the story starts off as they're all hanging around New York City, whatever, and crazily enough, they all head in the same direction at the exact same time. They weren't all going for the exact same purpose.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like the wrong place, wrong time kind of thing.
It definitely was. They were just kids hanging out,
Right.
And unfortunately, they were at the wrong place, and they were arrested. Actually, they pointed out, I can't remember her name. I'm just going to call her the blonde one because...
Oh, yeah, that lady that got on everybody's nerves.
I have strong feelings about her. She said, basically, I want every black kid, basically.
Right.
They wanted to, and they arrested them, and poor Corey, wasn't even on the list. Corey is going down to support his friend.
Right. Now, he was in the wrong place
Yeah,
at the wrong
yeah.
time because he
And,
wasn't even involved.
no, I mean, none of them were involved. But he was not even supposed to be at the police station. He only went to support his friend.
Right.
And he ended up getting the worst of it all.
Right.
Uh,
And all because he couldn't really read.
uh-huh.
So he couldn't really like he didn't understand what they were writing down. He signed something that he didn't really understand. Um, and it was just a shitty situation.
It was. Um, and for him to be 16 and go straight to Rikers Island, be tried as an adult,
Yeah.
was it's heartbreaking. Like you could just see the guy. First of all, the guy who played him, he did an amazing job, like portraying the pain
and,
that man went through. You
and
know?
shout out to Niecy Nash too, who played his mother.
Yes, Alvin Nash. Um, but to serve 13 years, starting off at 16 in an adult prison, getting beat up all the time, and who
Yeah.
knows what else happened to him in there.
Right. Yeah, because they didn't really get
Yeah,
into specifics, but I'm pretty sure some other
yeah,
things happened.
for a crime you didn't commit. Now, it was hard enough for the other kid serving 6 years, but 13 years in an adult prison at the age of 16, like you're in there, you don't, and to not understand really why you're in there has got
But
to be
but
horrible.
the sorry again, but the crazy part was is that he was the one that like stood pat like no, I didn't do this. This was I was not involved. I wasn't even supposed to be there. Da 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 da. This and that. Everybody else eventually kind of like gave up, which is why they got shorter sentences. But it was just like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
This guy was just there because he wanted to support his friend.
Uh-huh. And I feel like the police officers who arrested them set that whole thing up with him. Hey, you want to go down to the police station with your friend?
Right,
Like, come on, you come down with us too. Even though you're
right,
not on the list, you're a black guy, you're a young black teenager. Just coming down to the station.
right.
And it's unfortunate it happens even today. 1989 wasn't that long ago. And even today you have young black men getting killed by white officers.
Trayvon Martin.
In my mind, they see a black or a Latino person and it's assumed the worst.
Right. And not to be disrespectful to any of our Caucasian friends or whatever, but it's like they always say like, "Oh, we struggle too," and it's like, no, you don't.
Oh, yeah. They struggle, but they don't know the struggle that blacks and Latinos get. Just like going to the store, having someone look at you like you're going to steal something
Right.
just because of the color of your skin.
You automatically get that distinction.
Yeah. Like, there's definitely a such thing as white privilege.
Yeah.
Okay? And that case is definitely something that is really hard to watch, especially if you are a black or Latino person. Um,
And especially if you've been on the shitty side of the justice system on top of it.
Yes, but it's very necessary to watch. Yeah. And I think it's something that all young men should have to watch. especially young black men and Latino men.
I mean, females too. It's not just
Oh
the.
yeah, definitely. But it's like you can tell, like they didn't care. Like clearly, they didn't have all the facts.
No,
They
not at
had no
all.
DNA or anything. So how the hell did they get convicted with no DNA evidence? It clearly you can see that the officer forced them to admit to.
I don't know. I don't know the one guy's name, but if you guys watch Power, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Um, the guy that plays Tommy's father or played Tommy's father.
Yes, yes.
He was
The one cop. Yes.
yep. He was the one that was like him and the lady, the blonde haired lady, were the two main people that were like, no, these guys are them. It's them. It's them. It's them. And they didn't give a shit if they were wrong or not.
Not at all. And I read, articles. The lady, I think her name is Linda. I don't know. She's like Donald Trump to me. I see their faces and I get angry. So,
Yeah.
hey, you know.
Speaking of Donald Trump, we'll get into him in a little bit.
Oh. But they didn't care. And then they started off beating Corey. Like he's like, yo, what did I do? Like,
Right.
so lost.
I don't know if you saw my one post on Facebook, but I said it. I was like, the power of intimidation is a very strong factor because a lot of those decisions that those kids made were based on just being physically and emotionally intimidated to say what they felt like they should have said. Even though they knew that they were wrong for saying it, they were intimidated to do it.
Well, it's just like you're a kid, you have an adult saying,
because it glitched.
And when you have an authority figure, an adult telling you, hey, you did this, we know you did this, and they keep telling you you did it. You're just like, okay, I did it, just to get them to stop, which is basically what happened. And then you have the one guy, is it Kevin?
The young kid?
No, it was Antron. Antron's dad.
Oh yeah.
His dad basically tell them what they want to hear.
Right, so you can go home. Because basically the beginning of the story was like, oh, tell us what you want to hear, and then you get to leave. Like,
yeah. It's like, I understand his point, with, I just want my son to go home. Then I understand why his son was so mad at him. It's like, you're supposed to defend, your kids, but
you're my father, you're my blood, you're supposed to have my back, but you're siding with these people who you have no idea who they are.
But in the end, he's also a black man, and he knows how black men are treated by white people in general.
The white supremacy factor. I'm sorry, yeah.
Definitely. So he's like, I can he's like, you tell them what they want to hear, or they want to kill you, basically. Right. And then the guy Raymond, his dad saying basically, I'm sorry, but he already knew what was going to happen.
Right. Which is why I think it was in like the second episode when they were like going to trial or whatever, and he was like, yo, my dad doesn't even show up anymore because he basically already knows what the deal is.
It's like, being a black person, like, even today when you see, a black person get shot by a white cop, you don't even expect them to get any time because we've gotten so used to black people getting killed by white cops and getting off on it. It's like when it happens, it's like no, you want them to get arrested, but you like it's not going to happen. You're going to get off.
And the main case that people think of when you talk about a black cop and killing a young black male is, what was it, 6 years ago, 7 years ago now, the Trayvon Martin case?
Oh, you mean the white George Zimmerman?
Yeah, but he was a cop too, right?
Or he something. Was. I don't think he was a cop. I think he was like neighborhood watch or something like that.
He wanted to be a cop, whatever.
That man is a special kind of evil.
Yeah.
I could say worse things, but I'm just gonna.
We're gonna try to keep our channel as PG as possible, but sometimes.
Yeah. Trayvon was just, again, he was a young kid. Matter of fact, I think he would have been my age now. And
yeah,
walk to the store. You know, just going to get some Skittles and Arizona.
He was what, 16 at the time?
Yeah. I think he would have been my age, or either a year younger or older than me. But
no, he couldn't have been because you were. No, actually, you're right. Because we're what, 2 years apart, something like that, 3.
Something like that, yeah. But and then you got the Sandra Bland situation and Eric Garner.
Yep.
And the little boy Tamar Rice, who was just playing with a BB gun. I think he was like 11 or 12. It's sad. It's really, really sad.
Eric Wright, like all of those people. And even cases that before we were born that we still hear of to this day, that it's just like. Hold on. Say what you were going to say. It glitched.
It's a shame just how people of color are treated, you know, by white people, and especially police officers, because it's people who are supposed to protect you.
But it's one of those things where it's like our teachers always used to say, especially in history classes, like history repeats itself. And it's absolutely right, because you got this case that is coming back into the light almost 30 years after. It'll be what, 30 years in April or something like that?
Oh.
Or 30 years this April that just passed. So it's a 30-year-old case. And then you have so many other cases just recently, that are just like, what is going on?
Yeah. You know, and even though they were awarded this huge lump sum of money, it doesn't take away the pain.
Yeah. I was telling my mom about that when I had finished watching it. Because she would come in periodically and she was like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "You're gonna have to watch it for yourself." But it's about this case. And I told her, I was like, you know, they got like $41 million, and she was like, I was like, you know what? The $41 million divided by 5 ain't shit.
No.
And then she was like, but you think about it, $41 million doesn't bring back all the pain and suffering and lawyer fees, like all of that. That doesn't pay for that.
Yeah. It doesn't. Like, especially with Corey, he was beaten and just traumatized from the time he was 16 until he was released. You know, and you can tell now he still holds a lot of that pain.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the other boy, I can't remember his name. I hate that I can't remember his name. Where he was put in jail and something he didn't do, and he was tortured, you know, all this time. And then when he got out, he couldn't handle it, and he ended up committing suicide.
Yeah.
And people put in the comments, if you can remember his name, I think it was Khalif.
I was watching something yesterday, or was it today? Or did they mention it in the show? Something about somebody going to jail, and when they come out, they don't really understand what to do.
Yeah.
So they feel like, okay, I need to go and fuck up again so I can get arrested again and be happy and be where I'm at. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't know how to readjust back to society after they. Luckily for all of them, they are all doing well.
Yeah.
I'm sure they all have emotional scars and stuff like that, but from what they said on the recap thing, they all seem to be doing like fantastic.
Yeah, they all have families and are doing really well for themselves. And even though, it was rough watching it, at the end, seeing how it ended, it made you happy. But just watching that from episode 1 to the last episode, it was extremely hard to watch.
Right.
I'm not the only one who got emotional.
There was, listen, I had a tear in my eye almost through the whole thing. I was fighting back tears. I was going through anger, sadness, depression, like all of it, all at once.
Definitely. And there is a documentary on Netflix. And I'm going to tell you guys what it's called now. I want to say it's called Plead the Fifth.
What are they wilding out? I plead the fifth.
Yeah, it's basically about how Black people, are treated in the prison system. It goes back.
Oh yeah.
It's a really good documentary. What's the name of it?
Oh, and we can't forget to touch on the fact that the documentary also touched on the LGBTQ community with his
yes.
Corey's brother,
sister.
Well, yeah, he was his brother to start, and then he transitioned after the fact. But yeah, that was really hard. That was really hard to watch. The fact that their mother wasn't accepting of his sister at all. You know what I mean? Like,
that was hard to watch because, like, even though we know what the movie is about, but that's still something that should be talked on is, the whole issue with homosexuality and stuff like that, and Black families and Latino families is not really accepted, as much as it should. Yeah. It's like, but I want to, stay on this topic right now. But it was just a rough thing to watch.
Yeah, like I said, you were going through all kinds of emotions.
Yeah, all kinds of emotions. Like anger was number one. Anger and sadness.
Yep.
And then you have Donald Trump talking about, the death penalty
for children, though.
And now he's our president. Like, can you?
I was actually talking to one of our friends about that. How Donald Trump is now our president, and this guy wanted to give the death penalty to kids 30 years ago. I mean, come on.
Yep. It's unfortunate that this man who wanted to kill these young men without knowing all the facts is our president now, and it says a lot about America.
Yep.
Who voted him in. And like, I do know people personally who voted for him, and I choose not to believe that they are those type of people. But it's kind of hard to, when you're like,
Yeah.
voted for this guy, and he's not a good man at all.
A lot of times, I feel like people just voted for him just because he has money and whatever. But I know personally, if I had a vote, I wouldn't have.
You didn't vote?
No, I didn't. It's one of those things that I never registered. Not that I didn't feel a reason to, but I'm definitely gonna register at some point before the 2020.
Yeah. I definitely voted, especially in this past election. It's like the local election, because you got to get those good people in now to drive these bad people out. and, but he didn't have all the facts. He didn't know anything, and like, he's just talking. Donald Trump is not a politician. He's business.
Right.
You
He's somebody that likes to talk out of both sides of his ass.
Exactly. And just seeing his face, like, it gets me angry. It's like, I cannot stand that man. And if I ever run into him, I will make sure he knows the amount of dislikeness that I just make up over.
But I think that's anybody in the disability community. I think the disability community as a whole hates him because of what he wanted.
I do know some people who are in chairs who are Donald Trump is my man, and
do I know them?
Huh?
Do I know them?
No.
Oh.
Like, how can you vote for someone who is against you? It's like black people voting for him. Like, how can you vote for this man?
Yeah, I don't get it, and I never will.
Yeah. And just to assume that because you're Mexican, you're automatically gonna be a rapist. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, no.
That's one of the things he says is like, he's an idiot.
An idiot is not the word. An idiot is not the word.
I can say stronger things. I've had said stronger things about him, but I'm not going to on this channel.
Maybe in another video. But this video isn't about Donald Trump, no. So.
But we just wanted to talk about the Central Park 5, and I don't really like calling them that. It's because
I feel like the name has a certain dissertation to it, if that's the word, like a certain stigma to it.
Yeah, it's like they all have names. They didn't know each other. They were just only two of them knew each other. They weren't friends.
Hell, and
things.
And one of them has one of the most famous clothing lines in the country.
Yeah, Park Radisson. And we just wanted to share, our thoughts on the situation. We could go on forever.
Yes, we could.
If we could, but we both have time limits, and we don't want it to be too long. But
right.
Let us know what you guys thought in the comments, and if you remember the name of the documentary I was talking about on Netflix about the police brutality and just how, you know, African Americans are treated by police and the whole prison system as a whole, please drop it in the comments. I do not remember the name of it.
And just so you know, if you guys are looking for a Netflix series to binge watch, we suggest this one. But be prepared to get your tissues, a punching bag, a stress ball, something, because you are gonna need it.
And it's definitely not for the faint of heart, but you should watch it, especially, you know, if you are African American or Latino. If you know African American, Latino, just everyone should watch it. Okay?
Shout out to Angelica Rockford for pointing us in this direction, because she was talking about it all day yesterday, and yeah, we both picked it up and decided to watch it after that. But with that, I think we're gonna close out this video here. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
And make sure to push that bell. Make sure you push the bell, okay, people? So you can get a notification whenever we upload a new video. I want to thank you guys again for watching this. Make sure you go to the comments and check out the Big Show Mix Show.
Yeah, be sure to check out our description. We have some videos that we're going to shoot for Self-Advocacy in Action TV and all that stuff. So be sure to check it out.
Make sure to go to our personal YouTube channels and our Instagrams. Will all be in the description. Thank you guys again for watching. Peace.
Peace.